Blessings and welcome to the Path to Freedom podcast, a weekly and practical podcast with the intention to inspire, empower, and uplift us all to wake up to who and what we are, so that we, that is you and me, may forever allow for greater and grander expressions of that who and what to emerge with ease and grace. My name is Daniel Roquillo, and I'm your host. Blessings and blessings and welcome to the Path to Freedom podcast. This amazing, awesome, and I absolutely love it, practical podcast about waking up, about moving along the path of freedom, along the path of awakening, where we continuously do wake up to who and what we are, where we continuously give permission for the next great and grand expression of that who and what to emerge. And ultimately this means, and this allows for ever expanding peace and love and joy and harmony and abundance and wholeness and beauty and all of these beautiful divine qualities, for all of them to continuously expand into our experience, into our lives, not from without but always from within, as these are inherent within us, and these are the truth and essence of who and what we are, being that we and God are one, and God are all these. So it must mean, and it does mean, that we that we are all these. The difficulty sometimes is in seeing it, in not looking at the surface appearances, in not buying into the small and the limited thought patterns and stories and perceptions and beliefs that we may have held dear and near to our hearts and to our minds even more, but that necessarily do not serve us anymore. So today we are talking about money, and I know for myself and for a lot of other individuals around this planet, money is quite a hot topic. And I've come to some profound realizations lately where money is concerned that I need to explore even more and also share, so that it may assist in transforming all of our lives, not only mine, because there's a profound transformation taking place right now where money is concerned. So it's all beautiful. I love it. But and I also want to say, even before we move into the meditation, that I'm deeply grateful. Thank you so much for tuning in, for joining me, for giving your consent. That's not quite the word that I was looking for, but giving your yes to expansion, giving your yes to yourself, allowing yourself, giving yourself permission to be on this path and to continuously do expand and to continuously do release and let go of that which no longer serves. So thank you so much for tuning in week after week, even though this is not a weekly podcast, and it's kind of a bi-weekly. At least that's what I'm sensing that it's going to be. I would love to have the time to go back to making it a weekly podcast, but there are so many things I need to put on my priority list that I need to honor and attend to, so that I think it's gonna be a bi-weekly podcast from now on. Before we get into all of the money talk, let's have a moment of centering ourselves, of becoming still, of turning within, a moment of sacred meditation, a healing meditation. So I invite us all to make ourselves comfortable. I invite us all to gently close our eyes, our outer eyes, and to put a smile on our faces. And that invitation still stands, even though we perhaps are in a space where we can't find anything to smile about. The invitation is still to smile. So if you don't feel like smiling, smile anyway. Put that fake, beautiful smile on your face. As that smile, the body doesn't know the difference between a real smile and a fake smile. So that smile sends the signal to the body that all is well in this very moment, so that the body may begin to relax, so that the body may begin to release and produce and distribute these beautiful healing chemicals. So while smiling, I invite us to gently tap between our eyebrows to activate that first eye. We've closed our outer eyes. Let's open our inner eye, single eye, so that we may catch that which cannot be caught or seen with our human senses. And while we smile, let's just affirm in this moment all is well. Let's just affirm that we're here to wake up. That we're here to grow, to expand. So we can release the tapping, placing our hands in our lap, palms facing upward, thumb and middle finger touching as a sign of receptivity, and let's turn our attention toward the breath. Realizing that the body with its divine intelligence knows exactly when to breathe and how to breathe. So we can pry our fingers off of the breathing steering wheel and let the body do what it does so beautifully and so perfectly. We are also invited to realize that each breath has 4 stages to it. The in-breath, the space between in and out breath, the out-breath, the space between out and in-breath, and that last stage is where we want to be very mindful, because that's oftentimes where our attention drifts away from the breath. So being mindful of that last stage allows us to sustain our attention on the breath for longer and longer periods with ease, with ever increasing ease and grace. So taking on, as always, the feeling tone that all is well. Let's give the peace that follows permission to move us deep, deep, deep into the stillness and into the silence. Our attention drifts away from the breath. We're invited to gently and lovingly turn it back to the breath and begin again. to the breath and begin again. Back to the breath and begin again. As I move us into an opening prayer, I invite us all to remain with our eyes closed, our minds open, our hearts open. So to give the prayer permission to raise our vibration, to expand our consciousness even more. So in this moment, I'm grateful for this breath. I'm grateful for the sun, for its warmth, for its love, for its generosity. I'm grateful for the wind. It cools my face. It brings fragrances from afar. Grateful for the grass. It touches my feet in the summer. The sand finds its way in between my toes. I'm grateful for life, for this life that I get to have. It is truly a blessing. I am truly blessed to be walking this path, to be having this life, to be having this incarnation, where I get to continuously go deeper and wider and higher into what it truly means to be free, into what it truly means to wake up. As I continuously become aware of layer after layer after layer with thought patterns and beliefs and stories that do not serve. They do not serve me now. They are not serving where I'm going. They're not serving who I'm becoming. So I get to release and let them go. No drama around it, no judgment around it, no opinions around it. Just self-love, self-compassion, self-forgiveness. Embracing and allowing that which is, giving permission to be and then dissolve. Some recognizes this loving presence, the one power, the one presence that God is. There is not God and something else. It's not a little bit of God over here and a bit more over there. God is fully present in every space and place and being, because God is every space and place and being. God is in all is in God, simply because God is. Spirit is. Which means that who and what I am is God, expressing itself, being itself. in us and through this physical form. That I am unique and perfect, whole and complete emanation of the one power, the one mind, the one presence. As this is true for me, this is also the truth for every single one of us tuning in to this space, regardless of when or where or how or why. We're still emanations of the one with the one. So I'm blessing us, knowing that there's only the one of us, but I'm still blessing us. Our path, the steps that we're taking, the spaces that we're moving through, the challenges that we're moving through, the individuals around us come into our sphere, that come into our consciousness. I bless us all. I bless us all. Know that the only thing that is happening here is God. God is good, so therefore all is well. Therefore something wonderful is always happening. Therefore everything is working for the highest good. I know it and I feel it. I accept it. I give thanks for it. I allow it to be. So it is, so be it, so shall it be. Amen. And hallelujah. So let's talk about money. And as always, these episodes and this podcast is about me. I'm trusting that it serves. I'm trusting that it inspires. I'm trusting that it touches and moves. But it is about me. This is a space and a place for me to explore what is coming up along my path, the spaces that I'm moving through, the realizations that I'm having. This is my space. This is my space. So recently, over these last couple of weeks, a lot of beliefs around money have been coming up into my awareness. I'm in the process of, in my business, I sort of have two foundations in my business. The one foundation where I'm a independent sales contractor, and the other foundation where I am a spiritual healer and teacher and content creator. I create a lot of content for myself and for clients. And a while ago, I caught and I said yes to allowing for the spiritual foundation to be the only foundation. So to release and let go of the sales dimension of my business. It's been very lucrative. It's been very rewarding financially, but it does not bring me joy. It does not bring me inspiration, and it's work. It's a loop of trading time and money, and I am done with allowing time and allowing or not allowing, giving time and money the power to run my life. That's not what I want my life to be about. And as long as I'm in that space, as long as I'm in that hamster wheel, my life is going to continue to be a struggle in a sense, but it's going to be about hard work. And I no longer believe that hard work is the way to move through life. I used to believe it, and there are absolutely remnants left of that belief. It is still a part of my habitual way of thinking, but I'm challenging it, I'm aware of it, and I'm in the process of releasing and letting go. And in that process, a lot of stories and beliefs around money have been coming up. I've become aware of these. One of them, as I just mentioned, was that I believe that in order for money to flow into my life, I need to be working hard. not necessarily long hours, but I need to put a lot of effort into it. And I need to be trading my time for money. And unless I'm spending time working, in my belief system, money doesn't easily flow. And especially not enough money to keep me going and to keep me expanding. So that's one of the beliefs that I'm challenging and releasing and letting go of right now. And the other one, as I became aware of, there are two actually that I want to address more, that I want to put more emphasis on, because they are tricky in the sense that it's difficult for me to find them. They have a way, like a snake, they have a way of slithering away into the bushes where I can't find them. So I'm gonna say them out loud right now, and then I'm gonna move into exploring them. So the first one is that making money is tainted. Not making money. Money is tainted from a spiritual standpoint. It is not a spiritual virtue to have, and this is my belief. It's got nothing to do with reality. It's got nothing to do with, that which is true and real. But this is my belief. I believe that making a lot of money is not spiritual. And my life is about spirituality. So there's a conflict there. And also, the other not belief that I caught, because when I'm going into a store, and especially now since I'm releasing, letting go of that sales part of my business, which has been the sort of breadwinner these last few years. In my mind, as that is dissolving, we now are going into saving mode. This is how my mind operates. And so I can go into a store and I can see something that I can go into the grocery store and I can see something that that would be so delicious to have for dinner. And immediately my mind goes into that saving mode, and I can hear the thought, oh, but we don't have enough money for that right now. So I can't afford to buy that. And this is automatic. It's not a conscious, I am becoming aware of it, but it's not been a conscious thought. It's just a reaction to what I'm perceiving on the surface. That the immense and abundant inflow of money that has been flowing into my life these last number of years, it is now being turned down to trickle. And it's all good. I'm having no fears around it. It's all divinely perfect. I need to release that lucrative breadwinning sales part of my business. I need to release it. I need to have it dissolved so that I can truly lean into following my passion, following my inspiration, allowing that to be the channel through which money comes. Obviously, money doesn't come from anything other than God. So as God is the only source of supply, money doesn't come from the sales contract. It doesn't come from the content that I'm creating either. These are just avenues for money to flow. But in my mind, the sales dimension, that avenue is much broader. It's much wider. It can hold a lot more money than the content creation. So I need to I am challenging, and I am becoming, and in becoming aware, a lot of healing is happening. That's how healing happens. We become aware of something, we release, we embrace and allow it, meaning that we have no judgment about it. I'm not beating myself up for becoming aware that there's a thought form in my mind that says, oh, I can't afford to buy that, or I can't afford, or we cannot afford to go on that trip, or we cannot afford. There's a lot of that's sort of become a mantra in me. I can't afford. I don't have enough money. So I'm becoming aware of it. I'm not beating myself up about it. I'm not judging myself. I'm not having any opinions about it. I'm just observing and witnessing that this is what is. This is what I'm experiencing, right? So so that I can release and let it go and exchange it, turn my attention away from that thought form to the thought form that I always have more money than I need. I always have enough money to buy whatever I want to buy, whenever I want to buy it, to do whatever I want to do, whenever I want to do it. And actually, I've been leaning a lot into my pen and notepad this last month, and these last couple of weeks. It's been revolving a lot around money, and it's this is also something that I'm noticing, that it's I'm slightly embarrassed by saying that what I'm writing about is to become a millionaire. And it's not about the money per se, but the financial freedom that money represents. But here enters that spiritual taintedness of money that I am holding on to, that it's not all right for a spiritual teacher, for a spiritual being, for an awakening being to have a lot of money. So this is something that I need to do a lot of work around. And I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and she reminded me that Mother Teresa, who went out feeding the poor, although she did not have many dollars or whatever currency she was using to her name, she was absolutely funded. If she needed to go someplace, if she needed something, whatever she needed, people would support her, they would provide it. So in that sense, she had a lot of money. Dalai Lama, he has gold. He has much gold, lots and lots and lots of money. Mahatma Gandhi also had a lot of money. My teacher, Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith, he's worth like $6 million. Eckhart Tolle is worth over $80 million. So and you have Tony Robbins, you have Teal Swan, you have all these, and they all have resolved their issues around money, their perception that money is bad from a spiritual standpoint. They have all resolved that so that money can flow fully and freely into their lives. And it's not about hoarding at all. It's not about hoarding. It's not about stockpiling, but it's about, I used to study with Mr. Bob Proctor, and he used to always say that money are good for two things. One, to make our lives comfortable, and we want to be very comfortable. We want to get out of having to, even consider how we're going to make ends meet at the end of the month. We want to get out of even consider, like as I'm walking down the aisles in the grocery store, we want to get out of even considering, can I afford to buy that? Or do I need to buy something less expensive, right? So we want to make our lives very comfortable, where we can turn all of our attention, all of our energy into being of service, into expanding our levels of service, to serve more people in ever greater and grander ways. And that's the other use that money has. So money is good for making our lives comfortable, and money is good for expanding our service. The more money we have, and these are his words, the more money we have, the more people we serve. And so I need to wrap myself around that, coming out of thinking that it's not spiritual to have money. Because of course it is. God is money. As God is all, God is money. And for me to carry out God's will, which is for me to continuously wake up, to continuously contribute to the expansion of consciousness in all of creation, revealing more and more and more of God, and touching people along the way. That's why I'm here. I'm here to be a teacher. I'm here to be a catalyst, which is something that I caught a number of years ago. But for that to happen, for me to live out the fullest potential, to allow the highest possibility for this incarnation to come into being, I'm gonna need money. So there's nothing wrong with money at all. It's not the money in and of itself that is bad. It's what we do with it. And I absolutely know, without a shadow of a doubt, that the money that is going to come into my life, that is flowing into my life right now, it's all going to be used for the greater good. It's all going to be used for that. So there's a lot of work for me to do around money, which is why I'm having this as the topic for today, because I need to talk about it. And I'm actually experiencing embarrassment, and especially saying, so I'm going to say that more. All right, so this is what I am treating my mind to know and to feel. I became aware that I have a thought form, or that I needed to expand. Oh, that's the other thing. So, because if we want to call something forth into our experience, we need to feel that this is so. We need to be able to mentally or emotionally or physically or however we catch, to see it in our minds, to see it in our feelings, to see it in our bodies. I'm using the word see, but not all of us do see, but we catch it in whatever ways. So, and I'm as I'm becoming aware of, I'm being trapped in a quite small and limited lack and scarcity paradigm right now. So when I turned to my notepad and my pen, realizing that I was in this small and limited paradigm, what I needed to do was to begin to expand that paradigm. So I'm writing a lot about what it's like to live life as a millionaire. I went Googling for documentaries of how millionaires live their lives, just to get some sense of what is currently beyond my imagination. I'm beginning to expand my imagination into that realm. But going to luxury resorts, having people pay them for, or paying people for cleaning their houses and for doing their dishes, and going grocery shopping, and all these tasks and chores that they don't like to do. Flying first class, having multiple cars and houses, and all these things that some of the rich people do. I need to treat my mind to know and feel that this is my life. That's my life. That's how I'm living. And I know that so even though I am calling financial freedom into my experience, I know that my life will always be simple. It will always be easy. It'll be comfortable. So I'm treating my mind to believe that that we have multiple houses, that we have houses in different countries and all of that, and that we have a bunch of cars, and that we constantly go on trips and getaways and weekends, and that we are always staying at luxury hotels and resorts, and that we're always eating out in fancy restaurants and all that stuff. It doesn't mean that I'm going to live that life, but I need to come into the feeling tone of what it is to live that life. I need to be that vibrational alignment. I need to be in vibrational alignment with that kind of life for that financial abundance to flow into my life. As long as I'm stuck in thinking that, I can't afford to buy a steak, or I'm not eating meat, so it's not a problem for me really. But we cannot afford to go out for dinner tonight, or we cannot afford to go on that trip. or whatever as long as I'm stuck in that, I cannot afford, I don't have enough money, in that lack and scarcity paradigm, I'm not going to ever move beyond it. So I need to, and there, as I said, there's a lot of resistance within me in creating mentally, emotionally, this life of financial abundance. There's a lot of resistance. It's not that I haven't had money before, because money has very rarely been a thing for me. I've done a lot of work around money, allowing more money to flow in, but it's rarely been a thing. So I don't know what I was saying about that. It doesn't really matter. So this is beautiful. And as I'm walking in the store, as I have that pre-programmed thought that just boom blows up in my face, saying that I don't have enough money, I can't afford it. So what I'm training myself to do, and I went to the store this morning, and as I'm going through the store, as I'm looking at all these items, I say to myself, I can buy that, and I can buy that. I can buy that. I can buy that. And I can buy that. Oh, I'm buying that. I'm buying that. I'm buying that. And also, rather than saying that I wish I could buy that, but I don't have enough money, I'm telling myself, I can buy that. I'm choosing not to, but I can buy it. If I wanted to, I could buy it. I could buy it right now. That's how much money I have. So, so currently, as you may guess, the word money is very predominant in at least my inner dialogue. I'm not speaking all that much about it to other individuals, but the conversation that I'm having with myself revolves a lot around money and having money, and it's all a beautiful thing. This is what it means to move into vibrational alignment, to take on the knowing and feeling that it's already done, to take on the knowing and feeling that, in my case, the financial freedom, being free of the time money trade-off, being free to do what I absolutely love to do, to spend my days following my passion, following my inspiration, not having to run off to be someplace or to meet someone or even be someone for anyone. I'm moving myself into vibrational alignment with that, into the knowing and feeling that financial abundance is here. I live a financial abundant, a life of financial freedom. That's where I'm living now. It's not going to happen. It is what is right now. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and it's very interesting how the ego is putting up such a fight, as the embarrassment that comes from me speaking about intending to be a millionaire. And so I'm constantly showering myself with that phrase. I love being a multimillionaire. I love making money in my sleep. I love making money when I'm eating. I love making money when I'm out walking, or when I'm hanging with the kids, or all these things. I love this life of luxury, where I always have the money to buy whatever I want to buy and whenever I want to buy. So this is an insight into my world right now, as I'm moving through this beautiful transition of freeing myself of a lot of small and limited thought patterns, so that I can step into being an even greater beneficial presence here on the planet, of expanding my service even more, because that's what it's all about. As long as I'm trading time for money, there's a limit to the extent of service that I can provide. I'm going beyond that right now. to take the limit off of the service, the level of service. So because I want to be able to serve more people than I've ever imagined, and not to get something, but simply because the world needs it. The world desperately needs for people, for us to wake up, for humanity to wake up, for humanity to drop down from our minds, our intellects into our hearts, allowing passion and kindness and generosity and love and forgiveness to be our guiding lights, to be where we move from. So there's a lot of work to be done on the planet, and for some of us, we're being called to do certain things. Some of us are being called to do other things. Some of us are being called to do yet other things. We all have our different missions, unique and perfect for each and every single one of us. And being a teacher and being a space of and a point of healing, that's my mission. That's my mission. And I'm saying yes to it. I have said yes to it. And I'm stepping into it. That yes that I've said and I'm continuously saying, I'm stepping into it. I'm being guided into it. I'm being moved into it. I'm being pushed into it even. God has been on my case lately, telling me to step it up. Because I've been sort of hiding in the known, in the comfortable. But it's time for me to step into the unknown, that which is not comfortable. That's the only way to expand. That's the only way to grow. So I've said an implicit yes to it. I don't always like it. I don't always love it. I don't always love moving through the spaces that I'm moving through, the challenges that I'm being faced with. But ultimately, I always know that whatever is happening, as God is the only thing that is happening, as God and I are one, and as God is always good, it means that whatever is happening is always working for the highest good. So in this. So I think I could go on talking. I don't know how long we've been here, but I would only be going in circles. So I think we are done for today. So I'm just gonna bless us out, and we'll say our goodbyes, and we'll be on our ways into the next great and grand expression and version of who and what we are. So in this moment, as I invite us to turn within, to come back to the knowns in this moment, I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be now. I'm grateful for these realizations and these revelations. I'm grateful for the uncomfortable coming to the surface, the unknown coming to the surface. That which has been my blind spot is now being brought into light, where I get to become aware of it, where I get to observe it, witness it, embrace it, allow it, and then release and let it go. I'm profoundly grateful for the divine grace and ease of God, and the divine intelligence and the divine perfection that God flows with. Always divine and perfect timing, always divine and perfect action. Nothing ever happens out of mistakes or randomness or haphazardness or serendipity, but there's always that divine order that is underlying and that is at the back of everything. And that divine order is for God to ever reveal itself in greater and grander ways. That's it. That's the purpose of life. And I'm grateful to know that. I'm grateful to realize that. As I'm recognizing that God is all that there is. That God is the one power. That God is the one love. That God is the one peace. That God is the one harmony and wholeness. Always expressing himself beautifully, perfectly, magnificently. Even so in us and through me, as God and I are one. just as you and God are one, just as all of us are one with the one. And so I'm so grateful, I'm so thankful for this space that this podcast has moved us through today, whatever moment we are in, whenever we're tuning in, for the realizations, for the insights, for the openings, for the healings, the releasing and let go that is happening. I'm thankful for it, knowing that it's all done. The highest possibility for each and every single one of our lives already exists in the infinite mind, and the moment we say yes to it, that's what we've locked onto, and that's what we're moving toward, as well as it is moving toward us. So it's already done. It's happening now. It's happening now. It's happening now. I release it, I allow it, and I let it be. So it is, so be it. So shall it be. So we are, so God is. Amen. So thank you so much for tuning in, for participating. Until the next time we meet, I absolutely bless all of our days, and I bless all of our ways. Much love. Namaste. You have been listening to an episode of the Path to Freedom podcast with me, Daniel Roqueo. I invite you to stay tuned for more episodes. If you have any questions or comments, or just want to get more inspiration and empowerment, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. I also invite you to visit my website, danielroqueo.com. I bless your day, and I bless your way, you beautiful, wonderful being.